So I come back from a vacation in Barcelona that's only 1 week long, and the Nomad Bridge has been exploited for nearly $200 million of crypto assets. And unfortunately, this falls on a list of other crypto bridges that have continued to be exploited throughout this bear market. In this video, I'm going to break down what exactly happened and also why this hack in particular was actually really weird and quite different from other hacks that have occurred on all these other bridges. I'm also going to be talking about some statements that were made by Ethereum founder Vitalik Buterin in January, where he stated that cryptocurrency will be multi-chain, but not necessarily cross-chain. My name is Jorge, and you're watching Degen News from Degens for a Brighter Future. We do news, crypto interviews, and other educational content for folks like you. And if you enjoy stuff like that, please like and subscribe to this channel. Anyways, let's get into it.
Welcome to Degens for a Brighter Future. Come join the degeneracy.
So before we dive into the hack itself, we first have to understand what a cryptocurrency bridge is. To keep it simple, essentially what it allows is for assets from one blockchain to be able to exist on another blockchain. And it's important to understand this because the biggest dilemma that a lot of people discuss in cryptocurrency is interoperability. I can't take my regular, say, Ethereum and bring it on to Avalanche, an instant transaction. They're both completely different blockchains that have different methods or different views on proof of stake and consensus and all these other things. So how would you be able to have Ethereum on Avalanche or Avalanche on Ethereum? So the way that they've figured out how to do this is essentially they've created what are called bridges. And what these bridges do is that they create multiple smart contracts that interact with one another in order to create tokens that represent the native crypto asset on the other blockchain. So for our example, we're going to take Ethereum and send it to the smart contract. The smart contract sees that it has Ethereum, and then it mints an Ethereum token for the Avalanche blockchain. Now you're able to access different applications that may require the use of Ethereum via a token which represents Ethereum in price. So this does solve the issue of interoperability. However, it does come with its own risk. Now, although there are risks, there's a lot of people that have a willingness to take on these risks. And there's a variety of reasons why that is the case. Essentially, there's people that may want to continue to have some kind of access to the cryptocurrencies they love while accessing the speed, low cost of transactions or applications on another blockchain. Suffice to say, this is a great concept in theory, but however, the risk here did not justify the rewards. So how did we go from $190 million to 2022 to now what is 97,000K as of recording this video? Well, that's the million-dollar question, and that's what I'll be discussing today. So what exactly happened to this bridge to cause so much chaos and essentially the removal of over $190 million in crypto assets? So to dig into this, fortunately, a member of the Paradigm security firm, which is a firm that focuses specifically on crypto security, happened to notice all these offbeat transactions happen on the blockchain. Sam notes that the first transaction that he saw was that on the bridge through the Moonbeam network, 0.01 wrapped BTC, which is about, as of the time of recording this, around $230-ish, was then sent to the bridge contract, and the bridge sent back 100 wrapped BTC. Now, obviously, this seems really strange. If that's like going to your bank account, it says it only has 100, and you try to withdraw, 1 million. Like, the numbers just don't add up. So they naturally started digging into it and soon realized that this person had actually found that there was an issue where the smart contract in question was not verifying or proving if these transactions were valid or not. Instead, it accepted it as true. The even crazier part about this particular hack is that according to Sam Z, so many people started noticing that the smart contract was being exploited, and how simple it was that all they had to do was find that transaction on the network and simply copy paste it, but put the transaction on the smart contract with their own address. So these people didn't even need to be experts in security or cybercrime in order to figure out how to exploit the smart contract. So unfortunately, because of this, it became a massive hack where suddenly tons of people were involved in stealing tons and tons and tons of money. Now, or crypto. Well, money, crypto, you get me. But anyways, with that being said, what's even more wild about this is that this is the first hack where that many individual wallet addresses were involved. And that's actually quite interesting. Typically when hacks happen, they will find some type of issue within one of the smart contracts across the two chains or several chains, and then that one person will typically just break into it, steal whatever it is they're trying to steal, and then try to move it out and liquidate it in some way, shape, or form. But here, many people hacked, and they're calling it the first ever decentralized hacking. And it gets a little bit weirder too, because Nomad was not some ordinary bridge of any kind. This was actually a well-respected company which had a variety of investors. These investors included the likes of Coinbase, OpenSea, Crypto.com, the Polygon blockchain, as well as many other investors. And it's important that we treat these different bridges with a lot more hesitation and suspicion. Unfortunately, this isn't the first bridge hack. If you're watching this video, you should know that there's been several bridge hacks throughout this bear market. Not even a few weeks ago, there was the Horizon hack on the Harmony blockchain. There was the Ronin hack, which was over $600 million. There was the wormhole hack on the Solana blockchain, and as well as several others that basically have accumulated over $1 billion in stolen funds. So keep that in mind, and this might be a moment to be more hesitant in these bridges, and perhaps you should, if you are using the applications, you may just want to focus on using the native assets on those chains, as that is ultimately the safest way to engage with any given blockchain. It's very unfortunate that this happened. However, there is Vitalik Buterin sitting in a corner somewhere in the world saying, well, I told you so. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, as early as January 7th, 2022, Vitalik Buterin was actually quoted saying the following: "My argument for why the future will be multi-chain, but not cross-chain, is that there are fundamental limits to the security of bridges that hop across multiple zones of sovereignty." Now, what exactly does that mean? Well, Vitalik Buterin was essentially expressing a lot of the risk involved in having multiple smart contracts communicate with one each other across multiple blockchains. The problem with this is that they're all leveraging different layers of security. Not to mention that these smart contract or decentralized applications that might have been using Ethereum on Avalanche or Ethereum on the Moonbeam network or wrapped Bitcoin on any of these blockchains had to rely on another smart contract being an honorable custodian of those assets. So if any of these contracts were exploited, there's the potential that all these assets that are floating around different chains could suddenly become worthless, because the underlying asset that backed those derivatives is suddenly gone. So that's pretty much what happened with the Nomad Bridge. And with Vitalik saying, I told you so, well, he did. He told us so. Now, with that being said, I do want to mention that I hope that these innovations don't stop. There's, cryptocurrency is a technology, and therefore there will be bumps in the road along the way. Remember, cars didn't have seatbelts at one point in time, and now they do, and they save tons of lives. So there's always going to be some failures along the way as, this technology evolves. Now, that being said, full disclosure for anyone watching this, I personally never used bridges. I had been very skeptical about them for a very long time. And my exposure to any derivative assets or these tokens on other blockchains, essentially, I just got them as yield in DeFi protocols and I just sold them. That's pretty much what I did. Very boring, but that's what I did. So just keep that in mind as you're watching this. And one last thing I do want to mention is that there are some cryptocurrencies that are working on sort of layer zero concepts like Cosmos and Polkadot, which allow for basically applications to run on their own individual blockchains or even entire cryptocurrency networks that are on top of the layer zero blockchain and can communicate with one another. So there are people that are innovating in that space and doing a really good job of making them secure. There's also protocols like Thorchain. And I actually did interview Chad Barraford. I will put the video right here with a link so you can check it out. But basically Thorchain allows you to swap between native assets. So you don't have to worry about a bridge and the counterparty risk of having derivatives across different chains or making sure that the assets are backed. You're literally swapping, say, Bitcoin for Ethereum. Real Bitcoin for real Ethereum. So it's really cool. I recommend you look into it. Full disclosure, I own Rune, which is the native token, so I am a biased party. So always do your own research. Don't let this video be the last one about the hack. And I will make sure to link all of my resources below for you to look into. Thank you so much for watching this video, enjoying Degens for a brighter future, Degen News. We're reporting this stuff all the time. If you enjoyed this content, please like and subscribe below, maybe share this video, and check our other social media stuff. I put all the news videos on Instagram as well as some other updates. But thank you so much for your support, and I hope you join the degeneracy.
Welcome to Degens for a Brighter Future.